What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 12 Goals of Christmas here on Charlotte Soccer Show. Our special series continues, and we've only got a few days left here in 2023. So I hope you had a good one. Hope you got everything you needed done this year, because it's literally a matter of just, you can count the hours very quickly here. I am Bramsey Claus here, still rocking it out, recording these things overnight on Christmas Eve as I contemplate all the wonderful things that the Christmas season and the New Year's season brings to us all. Shout out to the TIFOs. Thank you all for listening and watching and participating and now reading and coming to parties and with us and things like that. Makes it all worth it. We have reached the Patrick Agyemang portion of the countdown. I talked a little bit about, my criteria for things like what moves goals up. And, it's like great goals, great skill, great things that make my jaw drop, moves that give me joy, teamwork, and nonverbal communication that becomes evident through passing and things like that. I just love to see, and it's also got to be significant. It's got to mean something and things like that. So this next goal, certainly fits the bill for all of that. And it's all about Agyemang. It's called Pat Part 1. Part 2 was going to be a little bit longer. Hint, hint. Spoiler, spoiler. For New Year's Eve, we might cram in a few extra goals. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. But for now, we want to talk about an extremely important goal that Patrick scored that really, it was sort of the first hint of what he was capable of. If you hadn't been going to Crown Legacy games, then this might have been the first time you realized, hey, this Agyemang kid, we got to keep an eye on him. Thankfully, I had been to a few Crown Legacy games, so I kind of knew what he was capable of. But let's watch and listen, and then we'll get more in a bit.
Veronica. I'm told he has had exactly one touch so far. Nathan Byrne. Byrne delivers. Flick header in! He's been a menace since coming on, Agyemang, and he got just enough of a touch to take that beyond Stefan Fry.
For Charlotte FC, and Patrick Agyemang put his hand up high. Nathan Byrne hasn't had that much influence on the attacking half in this game thus far, but he finally puts the ball into the box.
Call Pat, right? When you need a goal, when you're down 3-2 late in a match, call Pat when it's just about to enter stoppage time. He came on as a super sub in that game. Love so much about this goal. Love Gaines's work in the corner to keep the play alive. I love Bernie making that cross. This was when, I believe this was back in the era. So this was kind of mid-season, not mid-season, but somewhat early in the season, right? So this is back when Byrne was still sort of like earning his way back into our good graces, right? Like he still has sort of had a bad rep from some mistakes and things like that, some goals he given up. So this is one of the first plays where he started to turn that around. Gaines does that great work to get it. Bronico with a quick play, sort of, what we call that, sends it around the horn, and Byrne sends it in, and Agyemang with a little quick flick, you see what it means. This was amazing moments for him because he had some issues with. He did make the debut early. Remember, he had a really rough debut and got subbed at halftime. And Westwood said, "We failed, Patrick." This was a much better moment for him, and I absolutely love the Seattle player. Let's see if I can remember who that was. I think it was Danny Leyva, maybe, if my memory serves. Forgive me for not looking that up, but you got to watch when they show the replay from behind. Oh, whoops, I got the wrong damn goal. That was a pretty sick goal, but sorry, we'll talk about that one later. Actually, we won't. I don't think we will talk about this one later, but that is a pretty nice Patrick goal. Wow, I screwed this up, didn't I? There it is. Forgive me. Yeah, so I just love the way that this guy's reaction, the guy who like pushes up against Bronico there, I think it's Danny Leyva. he flips out because he's like, man, I just subbed on, and my whole reason for subbing on was to be, the defensive stopper that sort of like made sure we held on to this 1-goal lead we have on the road. And his reaction, as soon as Byrne crosses it, Patrick flicks it in, heads it in. Sorry, Stefan. This is the best angle. Watch his reaction here. He's so pissed. I love it. I wish I could get a camera just on that guy for sure. But that's Patrick Archibald, man. Like I don't know. You start to wonder when you see like that the legend was created at that moment, and the legend would go on to continue to do even more things. Like this was just the beginning, but this was another moment where it took time for him to continue to get reps. Like the worst thing you could do in 2023 for Charlotte FC was to have a great game. Whether you were Bender or Cambridge or Rajamong or whatever, like doing really, really well was sort of a way to like all of a sudden find yourself inexplicably buried on the depth chart shortly afterwards. So I don't know what that's all about. We're talking New Year's resolutions here, and that's one thing we can resolve to leave behind us as we enter into the Dean Smith era. So let's hope young players who do perform get rewarded better in 2024 than they did in 2023. Big Pat showed us the way, and this was Cambridge had already done his thing against Chicago. This was a little bit later in the season, but that every point mattered in our quest for the playoffs, right? And so, like, yes, a lot of our draws that we conceded late sucked for sure, but like you got to remember those draws that we stole a point back, and Patrick stole a point for us there that every point mattered. So shout out to you, Patrick. Thanks for grabbing us that point with a beautiful header. Let's watch it one more time, shall we? Because I had messed it up so bad. I feel like we got to watch it one more time for sure. It's a beautiful thing, and Gainsey doesn't get enough credit. Like, man, we're gonna miss Mackenzie Gaines for sure. That the goal doesn't happen without him going down and getting that ball. He could have let that ball go out of bounds, but he went and got it. I think it was going for a corner, but he said no. We're gonna keep possession here because we like our numbers that we've got here, and the build up, and it paid off. And there you see Jonesy giving Patrick some love. It's pretty funny. Carroll thinks this passes to him. That's the other part. That's the other funny thing. I'm glad we looked at this game because I forgot to mention Carroll is like right behind him, and Carroll's like probably thought that pass was to him, but Ajmong jumped up and got it. And so maybe that's a little bit symbolic of where things can go with this team in terms of Ajmong becoming a primary striker option. And who knows if Carroll will be here, if Carroll will leave, who knows? But he could find himself playmaking for 33 in 20.